Hey, what is up, YouTube land and the vinyl community? Kendall Stokes coming at you with a video for the Spin Doctor and his Vinyl Mayhem YouTube channel. Have to bear with me. I'm getting over being sick, so I might be taking deep breaths or sound a little congested. So it's been about 2 weeks since I've made a video. Last week I had a sick 4-year-old. This week I've been sick. Just a lot of stuff going on. So, but I thought now is the time to make a video. It's Sunday, September 18th. It's kind of early in the morning. This is my third attempt at trying to make a video today, so we'll see how it goes. Today I just thought I'd be quick and just go over some of the records that I've been listening to over the last few weeks, some of the records that I've picked up over the last few weeks, months, and just kind of talk about them a little bit and what I like about them. If you would, if you feel up to it, please like and subscribe, leave some comments. I would appreciate it. I read the comments when I get them and I try to reply back. But anything you can do to help the channel is, of course, much appreciated. But on that note, let's get into the records that I've been listening to. Also, I'm here in my record room here, and I'm sitting in my new chair that my wife got me. Shout out to her. She picked this up at her work. She knew that I'd been wanting like a nice chair that I could just kind of lean back in, relax, and enjoy listening to my records, and she got this for me. Very comfortable, very nice, very appreciative of that. She's always doing nice things for me, so I appreciate her and I love her. But anyway, like I said, back to the records. First record I'm going to show today is this one here. This is The Best of War. So I'm a casual War fan, you know, I like the hits, of course. And the only thing is that the War Greatest Hits album that everyone knows with the gold record on it, and, you know, black, gold writing, all that stuff, it doesn't have the one song that I really, really love of War's. And I was just, I was looking through some crates of some records and found this one. And I looked at it and go, oh man, this has all the stuff I like on it. Perfect. And it was cheap. This came out in the 80s, like 85, 86, I think. It's on the Priority label. I don't know if you know that one or not. But, you know, this has all the good ones. It's got Lowrider, Slipping Into the Darkness, Cisco Kid, Why Can't We Be Friends? But it's also got my favorite War song from their early War of Spill the Wine. So, very excited to have this. Listened to it a few times. Sounds great. Super quiet. Just a great compilation of some great songs. So, super excited to have it. Next, I have this one here. I picked this up a long time ago, actually. Well over a year. I guess it's not really a long time, but this is Simon & Garfunkel's first album. And I'm sure a lot of people are going, that's not their first album, it's not The Sound of Silence. Well, this actually is their first album. This came out in Europe before they were anybody. And this is on the CBS label. This is a first issue UK mono of Wednesday Morning 3 a.m. And this was came out in the UK, did nothing, was terrible, didn't have any success. It wasn't until they recorded their next album, which became their first album, that they had success. But this actually has the first rendition of The Sound of Silence on it. It's also got some other songs that I think were on other albums afterwards, but Sound of Silence is the biggest song that is on this record. Like I said, this is a first edition UK mono. Sounds really good. I mean, it sounds as good as it can, I guess I should say, for an album that's, you know, 60 plus years old. But really happy to have this one. I've been wanting to listen to some, you know, more quieter roots, acoustic type stuff, so I picked this one out to listen to recently, and I just was like, oh yeah, I forgot how much I like this record. So very happy to have it. It's not super rare, but it's definitely one you don't see a lot of, because like I said, it's a UK mono. Next one I have here is Queen, Hot Space. This one It's probably not maybe my least favorite Queen album. This one came out in the early 80s. It, of course, is more of a dance album, almost disco. Not really disco, I guess. It was because it was after disco, but it's definitely more of a dance album. A lot more upbeat type stuff. But of course, the one song on this one that everyone knows is "Under Pressure," which is, with David Bowie. And if you don't know the story about that, they had been wanting to make a record with David Bowie for a while. Bowie just happened to be in the same studio for one day, and so they sat down and threw a song together. I mean, and you can listen to the lyrics and the way it's made and know that it was just thrown together. There's not a whole lot to it, but it sounds so good. So I picked this up at Noble Records a few weeks back. It's not one that's easy to find anymore, to be honest with you. But this is, like I said, it's one I wanted to add to my collection. Very, very happy I found it at a really good price, actually, because it is getting harder to find. And I put this record on, and when it came to Under Pressure, Sarah, she heard it and she went, "Oh, I know this song." I was like, "Yeah, you do." She's like, "It's one of Mommy's favorites, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "I love this song." She's like, I heard it a long time ago in the car." Well, yeah, because Queen is a staple in the car for us. And it was just funny when it gets to the crescendo part towards the end, right before it starts, Sarah went, "Oh, I love this part." I'm like, "What? You remember this?" So it's just kind of sweet when your daughter can go, "Oh, I know this because of you or because of Mommy, and I love it because of you and because of Mommy." It's just, it makes you feel good. So next one, also picked up at Noble. This is the Eagles Greatest Hits Volume 2. I am a huge Eagles fan, but not so much that I want their entire catalog. So I thought Greatest Hits is the way to go. Their first Greatest Hits album, one of the best-selling albums of all time, is great. I have a copy of it. It's a UK pressing, very nice, very clean, perfect copy. The only thing is, it only has half of their catalog's great songs on it. This one has the rest, and believe it or not, this one's getting harder and harder to find. I don't know why that is, but this one's got Hotel California. It's got Life in the Fast Lane, but it's also got Seven Bridges Road, which love that song. The harmonizing that they do in that, just so good, so perfect. And if you don't know, that song, they actually only used to sing it before they'd go on stage to warm up their voices. When I think one of their techs said, "You guys really need to sing that on stage. People will love it." And so they finally did, and that's the recording that they have of it is a live concert recording of it, and it became a huge success for them, and now it's a staple in their set list. So sounds really good, though. This is a super, super clean, super quiet copy of this. Picked it up for a great price. Very excited to have it. I now have really all the Eagles I need. If I was to get another Eagles record, it'd probably be Hell Freezes Over. That's a live acoustic concert show that they did. It was when they reunited for the first time in years, which is why it's called Hell Freezes Over, because they said it would be when hell froze over that they'd get back together, and they did. So next, what do I got? Oh, this is another compilation, actually. It's the Best of Cream on the Atco label here. This is a first issue, I think. I mean, everyone knows I'm a huge Clapton fan, so picking this up was no big surprise. They I have all of their studio albums, but sometimes you just want to put on one record and hear all of the great songs, and that's what you do with this one. It's a great album to put on when you're doing stuff around the house and can't constantly go and put new or other records on because you gotta flip and all that kind of stuff. But this is a good one. Really, really glad to have it. Add it to the collection. Lindsay's a big fan of Cream as well because of her dad. So when Lindsay and I were dating, one of the things that really kind of made me go, oh wow, is, we were talking about music, and I told her that I was a huge Eric Clapton fan, and she went, oh yeah, he was in Cream. And I was just blown away by the fact that she knew that Eric Clapton was in the band Cream, and the fact that she knew the band Cream, because that's not exactly, known knowledge for everybody that's, not as into music as someone like me or all of you guys. So, very cool. Next. So this is John Mayer, Born and Raised. So this is my favorite John Mayer album, actually. Most people would probably say Continuum or Heavier Things or whatever. I really love this record. It's a 2 LP set. This one's got Queen of California, which I just love that song. This was John Mayer when he was in more of his Neil Young, Grateful Dead ways. He kind of went, you know what, I want to slow things down. I want to do singer-songwriter guitar stuff. And this album came out, and I was just floored by it. I love this album. I actually bought this record. This was one that comes and goes, and so it gets harder to find at times. But Plaid Room Records in Ohio, if you haven't gone to their website, do. They're a cool record store out in Ohio. I saw that they had it on their website, and I bought it and I ordered it, and it came, and it wasn't until recently that I opened it and listened to it and realized that it had 2 copies of disc 1. I went, oh crap, I ordered this a while ago. Let me just email them. They're probably going to say it's been too long, all that stuff. Nope, they said, oh, we are so sorry. Please send it back. And if you don't mind, we'll open up a copy, make sure that it's the correct discs, and we'll send it to you. So within a few days, this came in the mail. They said they sent a return label. You said use the same box, and that it was that easy, that quick. I mean, they got back to me within a day and fixed it. And I mean, that wasn't even their problem. It was packaging at the well, I'm brain dead, I'm sorry, it's early in the morning, but anyway, it wasn't an issue that they had. It was in the packaging of the record. But anyway, so this one, it is both discs that it's supposed to be. Love this record. If you don't have this record and you're a John Mayer fan, what's wrong with you? This is a great album. So let's see what's next. Yes, this record right here. I am a huge Chris Cornell fan, but I don't really have any of his music on vinyl. To me, everyone talks about the voice of the 90s grunge, and they go Cobain, Vedder, Lane Staley. Some people say Scott Weiland of STP. To me, he is it. Chris Cornell. I was so sad when he passed away. Just a sad story, of course, but all of his stuff is great. Soundgarden, Audio Slave, his solo stuff, so good. He's such a great songwriter, such a great singer, such a great performer, or he was. But Record Bar had a lot of these come into stock, and this is another one that when it comes, you need to pick it up because it goes so quick and then it's gone for a long time. So I was super excited to pick this up. It's 2 LP. It's career spanning. I mean, there's songs on here there's songs that aren't on here that I wish were on here. It does have his rendition of Nothing Compares to You on here, which I think is awesome. But it's got stuff from Temple of the Dog, from Soundgarden, his solo, Audio Slave. So very awesome. It's a 2 LP set. Was very excited to get this because you need to have Chris Cornell in your collection. You need to. So, this video's going long. but we're almost done. This past Thursday, I went to Wilmington to visit some friends of mine. Shout out to the Record Bar and Tony and Mel and of course Doug, my good buddy Doug, and everybody there, and spent some time with them. Did their Thursday night show, but I went kind of early and I did some shopping around. Went to School Kids Records for the first time, and I picked this up. This right here is a soundtrack to the movie The Natural, starring Robert Redford. Great baseball movie. Loved this movie when I was a kid. Still do love it, actually. But used to watch this movie all the time with my brother, who is a huge fan of this movie as well. He's a huge baseball fan. But we used to watch it all the time. But I always loved the soundtrack. I mean, you can't go to a baseball game and not hear the theme to this play at least once at the stadium. Randy Newman composed and conducted. It's really just a great soundtrack. But I picked this up. It's actually a promo copy too, which I thought was kind of cool. Some promo there. It's a pretty cheap record, but this is a good sounding copy of it. Really happy to have that and add that to my collection. And then, yes, some stuff that I picked up at the Record Bar that night. So this is Randy Travis's first album, Storms of Life. This is a great copy. Super quiet, no skips, no ticks, no nothing, very clean. This is a great record. I know Mobile Fidelity just released a version of this. I don't really feel like I need that. This is good enough for me. His stuff's is getting harder and harder to find. It's not expensive, but it's just getting harder and harder to find. There's less of it, I think. But really love this album. Digging Up Bones. On the other hand, just to name a few. So great record. Really happy to have it. Lindsay, of course, is not a country fan, so I have to listen to listen to it when she's not around. Speaking of Randy Travis, though, here's his second album, Always and Forever, and of course, Forever and Ever Amen is on this record, and that's all you got to say. Another great album, another great copy, not one you see all the time anymore. Very happy to have it. Randy Travis is just from down the road. He's maybe 30 minutes away from here. So it's kind of cool to have a hometown guy here who's, of course, an icon in country music. So very happy to have this one as well. Also picked this up while I was there. This is really cool. So the Drifters, to me, were one of those great musical groups that just could sing, harmonize, just great music back from the 50s and the 60s. And this is a reissue of their Golden Hits album. This came out last year. I believe it was cut by Kevin Gray, if I remember correctly. But it is all analog, and it's in mono. This is just a really cool record. I mean, if you look at it on the back, there's no barcode on it or anything like that. It looks like it's an original, but it's not. And even the record itself got the plum and orange label. At least I think it's plum and orange. But anyway, this has every great Drifter song on it. All the Drifters you need right here. It's got my personal favorite, Saturday Night at the Movies. But just so good. Sounds amazing. If you don't have this, try to find one. Because, it's all analog. And you can tell. I mean, it just sounds so good. Sounds just so original. So very excited to have this record and add it to my collection. Like I said, I love the Drifters. If it wasn't for the Drifters, there wouldn't be groups like the Temptations and the Miracles and the Supremes and all those bands from Motown, because they were ahead of Motown. Motown hadn't started yet. But they're one of those groups that kind of started it all. So very happy to have that record. Sounds amazing. And last one I picked up, kind of a big one, was Oktong Baby by U2. This is the 30th anniversary that came out last year. Comes with a poster. It's on a 2 LP set. This record is probably my second favorite U2 album, Joshua Tree being number one. And I do have an original of Joshua Tree, but this one is one that you don't find very often, you know, because it was towards the tail end of vinyl and all that stuff. So finding an original, very difficult nowadays. So this is the anniversary set. I haven't listened to it yet, so I don't know how it sounds, but I figured now is the time to go ahead and pick it up. It was the only copy they had left in the store, so I jumped on it. This is, like I said, to me this was the last good U2 album. U2 hasn't really put out anything good in a long time. Their newer stuff I'm just not into. It's all about their stuff from the 80s, and like I said, this came out in 91, so we'll call it the 80s still. But like I said, it's a great album. I'll listen to it, and hopefully it lives up to the quality of sound. Don't know. But Lindsay is also a huge fan of this album. It's got her favorite U2 song on it, so I figured go ahead and pick that up. So anyway, those are the records that I've been listening to or picked up recently. I do have some other ones that I'm going to do for another video, probably in the next couple of days, but I wanted to get this done and out of the way. Again, guys, if you would please like and subscribe, leave comments, I would appreciate it. But I think that's all for today. Keep listening to the awesome music that's out there, and I will catch you guys later. Thanks very much.